I don't want to play Russian roulette with we've got one. I don't want to play Russian roulette with the youngest. I don't want to make this worse. I don't want to make me worse. So we're never going to do it again, ever.
I mean, the only time I've ever gotten sick really with the flu was the year I got the flu shot. Other than that, knock on wood.
I'm Jennifer O'Donnell, and this is Honora O'Donnell.
My name's Logan O'Donnell.
Tim O'Donnell.
Okay, and you're here to tell us about your story.
Logan, actually him and I both are vaccine injured, but I'd like to talk about his. Logan is technically my stepson and Tim's natural son, and I became Logan's mom when he was 3. And this has been a slow, long journey of figuring this out. And by 4 and 5 years old, we realized that something wasn't right. And so we started with food, changing food, cleaning diet up, because in my past, my brother had been allergic to artificial dyes and preservatives and things. So we saw some improvement with that, and then, but then we had the diagnosis of autism in 2014, and Asperger's, high functioning autism. But in the meantime, she was a baby, and I was itchy about vaccines. I'm autoimmune, and so I started questioning and I started reading, and we confirmed the vaccine injury when I got his medical records and immunization records in full this past May. And when I read that he had had 29 doses in his first 12 months of life, correlated to hospital visits and almost a failure to thrive at 2.5 to 3 months old, it all clicked in. And I went, he doesn't just naturally have autism, he's vaccine injured.
29 doses, I mean, that's horrific.
At one visit, there was 9. I sat there in front of the medical records PDF crying, just crying, because I couldn't even stand the thought that 7 years of work with him and with us trying to figure this out, and it was in front of us the whole time, and the very fact that his mother, his biological mother, was allergic to 30 odd things and was asthmatic and had all these issues, and they didn't know, we didn't know, and when I looked at that record, I just was heartbroken. And then I felt even worse when I realized that in 2012, before he went back to school for kindergarten, we allowed the MMR booster. And
he regressed.
And he regressed after that.
How old are you now, Logan?
10.
What you're seeing today is a result of us yanking him from school, homeschooling him, us all being home together, and working very hard with him, but also just not knowing what to do at all. And the last 5 months after seeing the medical record, it all fell into place, and I'm horrified. And just right before that, just the month before that, I had come down here into town to see Vaxxed and spoke with Dell after the fact, and went home and started digging hard into our records and found that. And I'm just, now we have an understanding. Part of it's relief because we know we can, we have an answer, and once you have an answer, then you can work with your kid to help them feel better and help them do better. We have an acceptance to a school next year for children that have these issues. but it's very, very, very expensive, and we're not sure we're even going to be able to pull it off. So
And you said you had a vaccine. Did you have a vaccine, Tricia?
Yes. I only connected the dots because I started looking at my children's medical records in full. I got a copy of my records and my pregnancy records from 2013 when I was pregnant with her. And I started looking at my immunization records from my baby book from 1969, 70, and 71. And I compared them to my medical records for my pregnancy. And we discovered that I had had natural rubella at 1 year old. My mom didn't remember it. The doctor tried to call it echovirus. And then at a year and a half, I had the mumps vaccine. They were all separate vaccines back then. I contracted mumps from the mumps vaccine. When I went to have my boosters before school in grade school, I got them. They're in there. And then for 3 years in a row, at every holiday, I had recurring strep and tonsillitis, which I have read are result of vaccines. In 1990, I went to Soviet Union and I contracted all 4 types of salmonella, which triggered my body into autoimmune arthritis. I was diagnosed in 2008, 18 years later. And when I read my record 2 months ago, I realized that I had literally been set up to finally cave and fall into autoimmune arthritis, which I've had for over 20 years, but I was only diagnosed 8 years ago. So I do believe I am also vaccine injured because my mom can confirm the mumps reaction to the vaccine, mumps, and some other illnesses that were recorded in correlation with vaccines that I received as a child. They match, the dates match.
How are you feeling today? How do you feel?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
What happens? What happens sometimes?
Sometimes my head gets foggy and I can't think straight.
Do you get confused?
Yes.
Are you on a special diet?
No.
Well,
No.
you're on organic.
Yeah, you are.
Well, I only eat organic. That's really it.
Yeah.
No processed foods at all.
And we stay very, very far away from MSG and maltodextrin because when you have those, you are very, very hard to control. Just loses.
Changes in routine, anything that's unusual, we have a hard time with. But we've had great strides in learning. But I think because we're able to put the learning together for him that works for him, he does not thrive in a school setting, in a public school setting with 27 children and 1 teacher.
Sure.
It doesn't work.
It's too much distraction.
It's too much stimulation.
And now, so are you continuing to vaccinate?
No,
None of you.
none.
Glad to
She
hear.
was selectively and delayed up till 13 months, and around the time that she was due for the MMR, I was itchy about it. And about a week later is when I found out about Dr. William Thompson, and I went, okay, I need to look at this. And within a month, I said, nope, we're not doing that. And then by this past April, when I saw Vax the first time, I said, no more, we're done. We're completely done. The more I read, the more studies I read, the more investigation I do, the more people I talk to that know and understand the science better than me, we will never, ever vac again at all.
Well, I mean, we already have Logan who's vaccine injured.
Full schedule.
I mean, Jennifer who has the autoimmune, I mean, we don't know if she has that gene in her as well, so why bother? Then, you know, I actually had perfect attendance all from kindergarten through high school.
Very healthy child.
So why go and say, oh, let's vaccinate for something that, you know, take that risk?
We're recovering ourselves. I think we're getting healthier. And I think if we stay away from those things, then we'll be able to build our what's inside vaccines. I don't want any of those ingredients in any of me or my family at all.
Not only that, since we've stopped vaccinating him, he's been sick less.
Right. Is there anything else that you guys want to say on any of this issue?
Educate yourself.
Please do your research. If you don't like what we have to say and you can't hear our experience with an open mind, then please go and research yourself. Don't just take our word for it if you have a problem with it, but we are not going to back down from our decision for our family, and we will fight for yours, because I have committed now to join this movement and to make sure that the truth is known and vaccines are recalled and proper studies are done.